And out of the red corner today, we have Big Mac Galloway. Mac, how do you think the debate's going to go today?
Well, Will, they call me the maniac psycho. My mind is vital. My voice in the speakers is hot and it might blow. Fast and not slow. The flow of the tempo. On your mark, get set, go. My speed like Flojo. I'm running through this thing like my blood is petrol. Try to battle me, yo, SS loco. I've been holding back. It's time I let go. My voice is lethal, on point like a needle. Smooth and classic like a 7-8 Rico. I have no equal, a hip-hop hero. The heart of a lion, bold like an ego. Connect with a track like a train at the depot. Competition is weak like Shaq at the free throw. That's all I got to say, Will. It's going to be on.
YouTube! It's your boy TD. I'm back again with another video, guys. Hey, I'm a debate king. You know I ain't lost a debate. I'm 34 years old. I came out the womb debating for 34 years. It is what it is. All I do is win, win, win. YouTube! What's good, guys? It's your boy T, and I'm back again with another debate night. I'm with my homie Matt, guys, and we doing my top 5 tight ends going into my 2021 football season. Yes, I said it. My top 5 tight ends going into my 2021 fantasy football season, guys. So, Matt, what's going on, bro?
What's good, baby?
Hey, you ready for this debate?
Hey, always.
Well, look, I'm about to whoop you, bro. So I hope you're ready, man. I'm coming with it. But listen, guys, so I ain't going to waste time. You know how I is. I getting started straight up. So I'm going to give you my number 5 tight end, guys. And my number 5 tight end going into my 2021 fantasy football season is TJ Hawkinson. Yes, I said it. TJ Hawkinson. And, guys, the reason why I got TJ Hawkinson as my number 5 tight end is because of his potential. His potential is phenomenal, guys, and it takes tight end time to get acclimated in the offense, sometimes 2 to 3 years. Look at Tony Gonzalez. Look at some of the older guys, Shannon Sharp. It took them 2 to 3 years. And once they learn the offense, they can shoot up. So what I'm saying is, early in the season, guys, he had to learn how to block. Early in his career, he had to learn how to block. He had to learn where to be at. He had to learn how to get himself open within the zone and man coverages. Now, I feel like with the pattern that he showed at the end of last year, he's learning that. So let me give you some stats from last year, guys. TJ Hawkinson had 67 catches, 723 yards, and he averaged 10.8 yards a catch, guys, with 6 TDs. And he also had 101 targets. So minimum 100 targets is like my line. Like if you get 100 targets, you are a fantasy valuable player, no matter what position. And also, guys, he had 1 carry, but that doesn't mean that shows you what type of talent he has. They're gonna give him a carry, right? And also, guys, he had 175 fantasy points, which ranked 5. So I'm not putting him there because that's what the point said. I'm putting him there because I like his potential, and also with DeAndre Swift getting more acclimated in the offense this year with a run game through play action. I love that with tight ends, guys. That gives me like a guide. So also, guys, looking at his season, like starting from like week 10 to week 15, guys, he had 10 points, 13 points, 15 points, and 16 points. And that let me know, okay, you ready now, bro. We're going to release you. So let me move on, guys. My number 4 tight end, guys, is Mark Andrews. Yes, I said it. Mark Andrews. And the reason why I'm choosing Mark Andrews, guys, is because of play action. I just said it. Play action is big for your tight ends. That means your linebackers have to respect the run game, so the tight end most of the time is one-on-one because they have to respect the run game, guys. So let me give you some stats. And also, man, I believe Mark Andrews is he's not the best, but he's one of the best all-around tight ends. He has to block for Lamar. He has to block for J.K. Dobbins. He has to do a lot of blocking. So he's just not a pass game. He actually a better blocker than some of the better tight ends in the game. So let me give you some stats. And which was a down year, but once they got started, guys, he started picking up at the end of the year. So he had 58 catches, 701 yards, with a 12.1 average. And he had 7 TDs, guys, and 88 targets. Now, the offense had changed around a little bit, so he didn't get his 100 targets that I gave you. But this is Mark Andrews. They have to make some changes, and they wasn't running a smooth offense in the beginning of the year. You can see that with Lamar Jackson numbers and also just that offense in the whole. But also, guys, he had 170 fantasy points. I love Mark Andrews. Do not be scared of picking up Mark Andrews. Somebody dropped him in my fantasy league, and I scooped him up, guys, and went to the championship game. And I lost my championship game, but this really neither here nor there. It's all about being there. You can't guarantee a win. You're just trying to get there. So, guys, let me move on to my next tight end, guys. And my next tight end, guys, is Darren Waller from the Las Vegas Raiders. Yes, I said it, Darren Waller. Now, Darren Wallace, guys, he used to be a receiver. He was a practice player for the Baltimore Ravens. But so he got traded, and they knew he was a good practice player, so they traded him to the Las Vegas Raiders. And guys, he's very fast. And again, I'm about to give you my key. He's a play action tight end. Yes, I said it. He's a play action tight end. So they have to stop Josh Jacobs. So they worried about stopping Josh Jacobs with that big offensive line. Darren Waller one-on-one. That's why he had the big games that he had, guys. And so let me give you some stats that Darren Waller did, guys. He had 107 receptions, right? For 1,196 yards. That's a lot, guys. That's a lot for a tight end. And he had 11.2 yards per catch, average, with 9 TDs. And you ready for these targets? Are you ready for these targets? He had 146 targets. So, guys, you want that. That's 146 targets. So you want that, guys. So he had 278 fantasy points in the ESPN Standard League, guys. So yes, I love Darren Waller. I think he's fast. He could play receiver, but he's tight end. They put weight on him. Great move by John Gruden. Great move by Mike Mayock. That was a great move to do that. So guys, let me move on to my next tight end. And this guy is my favorite tight end, even though he's not number one. This is the guy that I'm targeting in my tight end draft. Well, when I draft a tight end, guys. And it's George Kittle. Yes, I said it. George Kittle. Now, George Kittle is to me, is the all-around best tight end in the game. I said what I said. He's the best all-around tight end. I didn't say the best route runner. Right. All-around, blocking, running, beasting people, doing whatever it takes for his team to win the game. Just George Kittle, guys. Mm-hmm. So let me give you a little stats about George Kittle. Let me see right here. So George Kittle, guys, you know he got hurt. He was out for about 7 to 8 games. Mm-hmm. So he had 48 receptions, 634 yards, 13.2 average per catch, guys. Only 2 TDs, but that's, like I said, he didn't play the whole season. He got hurt. 63 targets, and he had 2 carries for 17 yards. Remember I said, that when you see a tight end getting carries, that shows his athletic ability. So also, guys, he had 125 fantasy points in standard scoring, not standard, but just in the ESPN scoring format, which is PPR, guys. And also, let me give you this caveat. I mostly talk about PPR. You should play PPR if you're in standard, because I believe the scoring makes it a little bit more funner, and it involves more players. Mm-hmm. If you go to standard, only certain players are relevant. But when you do PPR, you can get like sleepers and stuff. So, guys, I love George Kittle. He's an all-around best blocker, and he's always going to be on the field because of his blocking ability, which gives him more access to touchdowns because the defense don't know what he's doing. He could be blocking like a tackle, or he could be doing a play action fake like he's blocking and goes out for a pass play. So I love George Kittle. So, guys, let me give you my number one guy. And everybody, you probably know who this is. It's Travis Kelsey. And I ain't got to say I said it because everybody know what this is, what this guy does. So listen, he's the best route runner probably in the NFL, maybe 2 or 3. I said what I said now. He's one of the best route runners. This guy is tremendous with his route runner. And also he has another he had Tyreek Hill on the outside, which is a tremendous weapon. So that helps him. That's why he had 130 yards in a Super Bowl. But yeah, guys, so let me give you some of the Travis Kelsey stats. I'm not going to really say too much regurgitated stuff because we know what Travis Kelsey is. But he had 105 catches, 1,400 yards. I said what I said, 1,400 yards. That's receiving numbers. I don't know if any tight end ever had that many yards in one season. He had also 13.5 average per catch, guys, with 11 TDs. Yes, 11 TDs, guys. And here you go. You ready for these targets? About the same as one of my other boys. 145 targets, guys. 145 targets with 312 fantasy points in the ESPN scoring format. So, guys, pick up Travis Kelsey. Actually, guys, I'm gonna say what I said. I'm one of the first ones to say this now. Are you ready? Are you ready? You can draft him in the first round. I said what I said now. So you go ahead, bro. It's already on you.
Wow. So, okay. You kind of threw me a curveball with that last line. I mean, I get what you're saying with that. Before I even get into my five, let me address that real quick.
Go ahead, bro.
I can see the concept of that. I'd have to highly disagree with that. In my opinion, the way I draft and the way I build my teams.
Okay.
Kelsey is a number one, and he is the number one in KC. Everybody thinks it's, Hill, but in my opinion, it's Travis Kelsey. You look at the routes, you look at the targets. The numbers don't lie. Okay. Men lie, women lie. Numbers don't.
Okay.
Jay-Z, what's up? But anyway, Kelsey, the only way I could validate that point or kind of agree with that is if you're in the 10th, 11th spot. Anywhere at the turn. I may be able to see that, especially if it's PPR. If it's standard, no way, no how. I can't do it because he doesn't accumulate enough touchdowns for me in order to take him that spot.
11 TDs, that's not enough for you. But that's fine. Okay.
Not in the first round.
Okay.
Not in the first round. Because I'd rather have a running back. Because if I'm playing standard, I'm going RB.
Well, you tell me the running backs to head over 11 TDs. You told me how many of them.
But we looking at the efficiency in the red zone.
Okay.
I'd rather have CMC or Derrick Henry. The chances of them getting in the green zone are going to be way higher than Travis Kelsey.
Okay.
So that's my mindset in that.
I didn't say number one overall pick, but go ahead. I don't mean to.
Well, no. I'm saying even in the first round.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. To me, it's just way too much value in the first round. But again, I don't want to harp on that too much because I'm going to give you a few of my five. I want to start with number 5.
Okay.
Which is Logan Thomas.
Okay.
A lot of people won't see him as that, but Logan Thomas, if you notice, 2019, 2020, he came in to 72 receptions, 670 yards.
Okay.
That's with Alex Smith, and God bless him. It was a great story, him coming back and all of that. But he wasn't a prototypical tier 1 quarterback.
Of course not.
If they can fool around and get somebody, let's say in the draft, or even a veteran in free agency, Logan's numbers are going to shoot up. He was targeting 110 targets.
Okay.
He was actually top 5 in targets
with
tight ends. So going into this year, I think Washington is gonna they're gonna steer more to the passing game. Like you said, with the play action, we all know what Antonio Gibson's gonna do. We'll get to him later on because I got him on another one of my lists.
Okay.
But he's gonna be one of the top tier targets in Washington.
Okay.
All right. So that's what I like about Logan Thomas. My number 4 tight end here is another one that I think a lot of people probably won't put him in this category, but if you look at his numbers, it dictates and shows how he's gonna be one of the top tier tight ends.
Okay.
As Evan Ingram. So you look at Evan Ingram, he's got the Jason Garrett effect. You look at Jason Garrett, look at the history of him in Dallas, what he did, with the tight ends there. Witten was a superb all-star, Pro Bowl caliber tight end. Evan Ingram last year also had 110 targets. It's kind of skewed in the vision of what people saw with Evan because Saquon went out. Saquon comes back healthy, we're going to see a whole different Giants offense. And Evan Ingram is going to be targeted heavily.
Okay.
Because that's kind of the run and the tight end, they kind of coincide with one another.
Okay.
In multiple ways. Evan Ingram's not what you say per se like a big blocker or he's not known for that. But he's more if they run 21 personnel.
I said what I said.
He's probably the best tight end, route running tight end in the league.
I ain't gonna say route running, but I say as far as fast and just running and playing. He could play receiver.
Exactly.
He could.
So, in saying that, he's probably the number 1 on that team, unless they go and get somebody else.
Okay.
Because we don't know what Golden Tate's
I don't think they do. They like Evan. They like Evan.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not saying replace Evan as tight
okay.
end. I'm saying get another wide receiver, like a number 1.
Yeah.
But it's really not too many out there in the market that I think will choose New York and cap space and all of that. So Evan Ingram's number 4. So I'll kind of roll through it real quick because, the top three we kind of agree with, actually in the same order. Darren Waller is my number 3 as well.
Okay.
And like you said, I do agree with that. With those targets, 146, that's superb. I mean, he was only like 45 points behind Kelsey.
Exactly.
So, and you can get Waller. That's kind of going with what I was saying too, as far as not getting Kelsey in the earlier rounds, because you can end up getting Darren Waller in the 3rd.
Yeah, but you got to rely on that offense too to make sure, like Travis Kelsey what he's going to get, and that makes me feel a little bit safer, even if he has a bad game. Where I'm like, well, come on, man, y'all know y'all should be getting Waller. I don't like to do that. I don't like to hope for nothing. That was a great year, but is that what he's going to do every single season?
Well, he's had 2 consistent years.
He has, but I don't know if he's going to get 145 targets because, Henry Ruggs is developing, and also the receivers, they was down last year, so that gave us a lot of targets to Waller. But Kelsey, no matter what happens, I feel like he'll get that. But go ahead, finish your thought.
Well, and then if you also look at, because, the quarterback carousel that's going on right now.
That's true. That's what there you go.
And that's going to affect a lot of these rankings and a lot of everything that we're going to be talking about. So let's just say, hypothetically, if they fool around and get somebody like a Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, whomever, even I think you spoke on it in a couple of your videos before about Mariota. So, and I agree with you 100%. I like Mariota a lot. When you got a mobile quarterback, not saying that Carr can't do it, but Carr's time is probably gone. Well, I'll put it like this: him and Gruden, it's kind of like oil and water.
It is.
You get what I'm saying?
It is. He see all these gadgets. I don't mean gadgets, but they see all these quarterbacks running the ball and doing all these wonderful things. He want that too.
Right.
But sometimes you got to appreciate what you got.
Yeah.
You start going and switching up, but this neither here. Go ahead, finish your thought, bro.
So Darren Waller, like I said, for me, I think he'll come in as the 3rd, and he has a possibility to slide up to even 2 or 1, depending upon the like I said, the quarterback carousel, how it falls. George Kittle's another one. I agree with you on that. He had 63 targets, but like you said, he missed like 8 games. So if you average that out, he probably would have been the most targeted tight end, last year. We all know what he is. He's a phenom when it comes to the physicality of the game and the way their offense runs, and he is the number 1. He's really the number 1 option.
He is.
To be honest,
he is.
So I love George Kittle as well, and then I have to agree with you. Travis Kelsey, he is who he is. I mean, like I said at the very beginning, my rebuttal, I think Kelsey is the number 1 receiver in KC. It's kind of like a ripple effect, in my opinion. If something happens to Travis Kelsey, we'll see. And not saying that Tyreek Hill is not or wouldn't be who he is, because you still got to fear him. You still got to adhere to his attributes. But Travis Kelsey makes that offense so much greater. Just in the way that certain defenses got to adjust for him. Cover 2, cover 3, whatever the case may be, you got to always pay attention to what Travis is doing.
I agree with that.
So, in a nutshell, the top 3, I definitely agree with you, but Travis Kelsey is my number 1. But again, I kind of got to, we'll have to debate that a little bit, maybe at a later date, but that, in my opinion, it'd be very, very I don't know, that's a high price to pay in the first round.
This is what I say. Guys, so listen, you don't want to take guys in the first round that finished number 1 in their position. You don't want to take guys in the first round that finished number 1 in position. Then what are you doing? Because if I get the number 1 tight end and then I come in the second round and get the number 1 quarterback, game over. As long as they don't get hurt, game over. So I'm not going to play, I got to get running backs because you blocked in. Get the number 1. Be the first one in those pools. But you got to get the right one. That's true.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes, like he's saying, you can let the draft fall to you and you get the number 3 guy, he end up being the number 1. But if Kelsey has another season like he did, and then you go and get Josh Allen in the second round, you took guys too early. But how you taking too early when they score 30 points, 40 points? So he getting guys, he letting the draft, his quarterback scoring 20 points, 15 points. But my guys are scoring 30 and 40 points every week. I'm winning. Then I can work the waiver wire and fill out the rest of the positions. I'm not worried about a running back. I can find a running back. Look at James Robinson. Look what he did. When was he drafted? He wasn't even drafted. So I'm not worried about it.
Some of them been drafted. I drafted him.
You drafted him?
I drafted him.
When'd
I got to
when'd you
in my
draft him?
JUCO league. Remember I showed you the other
Wait,
day?
was that a dynasty?
No. That was a redraft.
Where part of the season did you draft him?
I drafted him in our draft. We had a later draft.
Okay.
This
You
was
see,
like
later draft. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But so, and I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
but
you're
my
fine.
point is, it's number one. Listen to me and TD. You're gonna get these cutting edge players
And coming on Patreon too, guys.
right. But when you do the research and stuff, that's where that's how you win your draft. Is when you find that discount drafting. Find people late in the draft where they can win you your leagues. I mean, think about it. A few years ago, Chris Carson, Lindsey from Denver, David Johnson, all these players, even Nick Chubb a few years ago when he was a rookie, a lot of people didn't even draft him.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? So it's different players that you can get. Every year, it's always going to be somebody that comes out. So for me, getting somebody like a Darren Waller who's proven, he was only 45 points away from being number one.
Okay.
He's going to fall in that third round 90% of the time.
Okay.
So why not take him in round 3, and you can still get, if you so choose to get a Josh Allen or a Pat Mahomes in your second round, and then get your number one number one receiver or number one running back.
Okay.
So you're going to have all three. So then you have potentially a number one tight end, number one quarterback, and a number one receiver in those first 3 rounds. But if you go and you go ahead and roll the dice on Travis Kelsey in the first round, you're going to kind of miss out on those other tiers.
Okay, let me say this. So last year when we played in our league, and I took Tyreek Hill with the number 7 pick, what did you say? What did you say?
You took it?
Yeah.
I don't remember. What did I say?
You said, yeah, brother, that's a little.
Why? I said it was too high. Because, okay, so in that case.
And where did he finish? Where did he finish?
Right.
And then, so who did I take in the second round?
Lamar Jackson, wasn't it?
What did you say about that?
I still think it's too high.
Exactly. But
those are anomalies, though, bro. That's
you want to come to this channel, you get those anomalies.
But if we
get those anomalies.
If we talking numbers, that only happens few far in between.
But that's why I'm on. This is cutting edge. This is fantasy good sports.
I agree with that 100%. But what I'm saying is, you can still get those anomalies. Like I said, I drafted James Robinson. He won people leagues.
He did.
I drafted Jonathan Taylor. He won people leagues. Antonio Gibson. So you can still get those guys late in your draft and still get some of the safer people in the first part. I'm just all about
play safe, but I understand what you're saying.
No, and I get it, but I'm all about risk adversity. You know what I'm saying? Because in fantasy football, you got to watch your risk. You know what I'm saying? Especially in those first couple of rounds. Hey, like I said, Travis Kelsey's not a bad, because you're really getting like a receiver / tight end all in one. But if I'm at the turn, I'd much rather get Devontae Adams, Julio Jones, or Devontae Adams, Michael Thomas. That's just me. And then I can fool around and get Darren Waller in the third. So then you got 3 studs sitting right there in your top 3 rounds, where if you get Travis Kelsey and like a quarterback, then you're going to be struggling, you know what I'm saying, at your receiver possibly, or your running back.
No, because there's so many receivers out there now that can give you like a Justin Jefferson, that you can pick these guys up off the waiver wire.
Right.
So only thing that I'm asking on the back end is picking up on your waiver wire. That's what you have to do when you go take these guys, because you're getting the number one at these guys. And then, like, to finish my point, like, yeah, I picked. So I went Tyreek Hill, I went Lamar Jackson. And Lamar struggled a little bit in the early season, but I stayed true with him. And then later on in the season, that's how I got in the playoffs. I came in second in my league, guys. I lost in the championship game. And the main reason is because I had Tyreek Hill and I had Lamar Jackson. And a lot of people didn't want to take those guys when I took them. I didn't take Michael Thomas first. I took Tyreek Hill first because it's just certain things that I see, guys. And if you subscribe to this channel and you hit the thumbs up button on my videos, guys, you'll be able to get content like this where I'm giving you cutting edge stuff, and on my Patreon where I'm telling you things where people are like, well, why would I do? You will see why. So, guys, I will do a video and let you know and see my draft. But, guys, it's not about being safe. Just watch the NFL. These guys that are picked safe, they get fired. You get fired. So you got to go out and get the player that you want. Look, why was Russell Wilson picked in the second round or third round? Why was Tom Brady picked it? Because you got to go get what you want. Don't play no games with this. Go get the player that you want and let the chips fall where they may fall. And you always can work the waiver wire and pick up guys. So man, I ain't go ahead if you got any last.
No, that was it.
bro.
That was the last one. Like I said again, it's kind of preference as far as that's concerned. And we'll get into it a little bit more with the other categories.
Okay.
Of draft strategies and different positions. But for me personally, honestly, that's just a little, too risky for me.
And it's different drafting strategies. They all can work. And it's more than one way to get to skin a cat. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
Yep. But yeah, guys. So thank you for watching this take right here with our tight ends, guys. And make sure you hit the thumbs up button and also subscribe to this channel because I'm gonna keep giving you cutting edge videos like this. Thank you. Have a blessed day.